messed up hair, don't care.
Oh, we're just getting it in.
Literally, this is a get it in video. Now, we all know the world was watching on both the 8th of March and the 7th of March, if you are in the United States of America, watching the Meghan Markle and Harry interview with Oprah.
Oprah, the lady herself.
The main girl. Wow.
Yeah, I'm just literally sitting. Well, I think last night I sat stunned. But then after some kind of thoughts, I thought, why am I surprised? I shouldn't be surprised, should I? Like, we know the world that we live in. But it just makes me so disappointed. Literally.
It's fair enough. And disclaimer, at the end of the day, this is us spitballing. This is us just literally watching it and then sharing some of our initial thoughts. We're obviously going to be going away and thinking about stuff. Also, if you want to see, because we intend on showing the kids the interview to see what they think. So if you would like to see those reactions and maybe their questions, then please let us know in the comment section below.
We the Grimwades, welcome to the show. Spreading good vibes, gonna let everybody know. There's a window to our lives, so watch everybody grow. And everybody's welcome, from the royals to the pros. Yeah, love and checking out the journey. Big fam, couple guys, couple girlies. We're spreading happiness from early. Subscribe to the vibe, you heard me?
Oh my days.
I was always taught, babe, that if you are not at the scene of a crime...
Yes, this is exactly what I was going to say.
well, there you go. If you're not at the scene of a crime, Grimwade gang, then you don't actually know. You can estimate or guess or but you don't know anything.
Precisely.
Yeah? And there's always two sides to every coin.
Yes.
However, what I also was taught was there's no smoke without fire.
So, saying all that, of course, watching that interview, I feel like I want to jump on it because I can relate. I can relate to the fact they are a mixed race couple. Obviously, Harry's white, Meghan is mixed race herself. Obviously, I'm black. But they have, they've got that kind of joint, I guess, life experience. Although, no, it's obviously not exactly the same because they are was Prince Harry and Meghan Markle actress. Totally different life. But in terms of race, there's that kind of common ground, you want to say.
Absolutely.
Okay? So straight away when I'm watching it, I feel drawn in because I feel like I've got a connection, right? And we know it's TV. We know that these people have been doing this kind of thing, interviews, whatnot, for years. So they know what questions to ask. They know what
They know what
doing,
camera angle, they know the focal length to intensify when people are saying things. They know, I don't know if you noticed, but this is a typical thing in, maybe film if there's going to be a sequel, but definitely series episodes. They're called cliffhangers.
Yes.
And so the end will be...
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah.
And then it will cut.
Before a break or whatnot.
And then obviously you're like, he didn't what? And you want to come back. It was great.
Very well done.
It was perfect.
But there's things that you have to look at. Even, of course, they decided to start the interview with just Meghan. Why have they done that? Because they want to give her her own platform, to let her come peacefully into the arena, obviously in her beautiful state. She's pregnant, she's glowing, whatnot. I guess they didn't want to set it up as Prince and Harry sat against the world, or against the royal family from the get-go. Do you know what I mean? So they know what they're doing.
Two women having a lovely chat, like pregnant woman.
Yes.
You have to, I don't know if you've ever seen, what's our favourite, Scandal?
Yes, yeah.
Scandal with Olivia Pope. The way that she dresses stuff up. Now, I'm not saying at all that, again, this is all a farce and nothing they said is true. No. In fact, I'm probably more on their side personally than I am maybe for the royals. However, you've got to be, when you, again, speak about a situation where you were not there, you have to tread carefully and Yeah.
Because how I want to come on this video and be talking to you guys, Grimwade Gang, it's like, how could they? Oh my days, did you see when so-and-so said that? Like, what on earth? What? Seriously? How are the royal family going to get away with that? That's how I want to be.
And if she wants to go like that, then you don't want to know what I want to go like.
Precisely.
But I am learning, Grimwade Gang. Anyone who knows me closely knows that, you know, I can get very passionate about stuff, and
there's nothing wrong with that. Do you know what I mean?
No. There's a way to do stuff, or so I'm told anyway. There's a way in which to speak. There's a way in which to, you know, have a debate or anything like that.
Or let your points be heard. And, you know, I just feel it's very disturbing, because for any couple to have done what they've done by separating themselves from their family, whether it's royal family, whether you're separating yourself from your family, that is a big deal.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's a huge thing in itself. And we know there's family feuds all the time, and obviously someone is always in the right, someone is always in the wrong. So each party will say.
Although it really takes two to tango.
Precisely. So if there's issues in any relationship, there's been wrongs on either side. Do you know what I mean? Usually. Yeah. Of course, you can throw many different examples into the mix. Oh, what about an adult and a child? And do you know what I mean? Like,
there's always exceptions to the rule, 100%. But generally speaking,
when you come to adult relationships across the board, there's gonna be, well, I felt like this when you said that. Well, then why did you say that? Do you know what I mean?
That made me feel like this, and
precisely.
Which is fair. We're humans. We have feelings. Do you know what I mean?
Saying that we're human, I feel like we as a couple, you know, we are challenged to obviously use our platform in a way that is encouraging to you guys, but also we have a responsibility, obviously, to be honest with you and let our feelings out, but also knowing that we are Christian, and ultimately God is judge. God is judge overall, and we cannot be. Even though my heart inside my chest is like, I feel like they've been wronged. I feel like, whoa, they've gone and they've, you know, made a stand. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say on us being Christians side of it, ultimately, we believe that, okay, we're going to delve into one of the topics, and it's obviously going to be one that is close to our hearts.
Sorry, before you carry on.
No, we're not.
Before, we've just assumed that everybody's seen the interview. In case you haven't and you don't have a clue what this is all about, basically, Prince Harry and his wife, Meghan Markle, she was the Duchess of Sussex, I think it was, and they basically obviously got married. She is mixed race, he's white, he's royalty, she wasn't. She was brought into the family. There's been some court accusations of racism that's taken place. Ultimately, everything stems off of racism. Yes. It would appear that is at the crux of but it comes out in the manner of, I don't like you, you don't like me, casual argument, blah, 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 blah. Harry and Meghan now don't feel as if they can fulfill their roles in the royal family as they would like to, as well as living their lives the way that they want to live, whilst attending to the things that they believe are important for them to do in life. You know, they are humanitarians. They obviously want to be able to work for the better of people. They love people, much like Princess Diana, you know?
Yeah, Harry's mum.
Yes. And in order for them to be able to live their lives, they felt like they needed to separate themselves from the royal family and drop their titles as royals.
Well, I'm not sure from the interview. I'm not sure it was drop their titles. I think it was go part-time. That's what they said, something about going part-time, which led to them having to drop their titles if their side of the story is correct. Now, all I was saying was that racism, along with any other wrong, is a sin. And ultimately, we don't believe the world can be cured of these kind of deep-rooted emotional, heart issues without God's help, because it's a spiritual issue. It's a soul issue. It's deep within it. It takes more than just going in the mirror. Like, you know, some people say, go in the mirror and tell yourself something and whatever. What will happen is you'll probably gash yourself up for about 5 minutes until something goes wrong again. And then, you know, that feeling of come down, see, it's not even, you know, I thought I was, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And now I'm here.
If your heart doesn't really believe it, then there's no point kind of painting over all of your deep-rooted issues just with words, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yes, it's important to talk truth and positivity to yourself, but you have to believe it in your heart.
100%.
And I was also going to say that there's no point, for example, laws just being passed without people's hearts actually changing. For example, if it was a law that, you know, racism is wrong and anybody who is racist in any aspect or form
goes to jail,
or whatnot. Like,
you just have a lot of people in jail.
Yeah, you would.
That's what would happen ultimately.
Yeah.
A lot of racist people in jail, because it's the same thing. People often will say, you know, we're a Christian family. We don't always go around saying, you know, Jesus, 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 or whatever, but we try and live it out in our family the best we can, because we feel that's the best way, you know, to give a good example. And if people would like to follow, then that's fine, and make a change in their own life for the better, because they see something positive that they would like to. That's what the life's about, right? Inspiring people and helping people move to a different place that maybe they wouldn't of their own accord, or if they didn't have a picture of something different. But at the same time, sorry, Donnie, you wanted to go.
Go on.
No, but at the same time, you know, at the root of all of our, you know, thinking is a Christian mentality. Do you know what I mean? And
I have a question to pose to you.
Go for it, because we need to start going to some of the issues.
Were Meghan and Harry wrong in the first place for airing all of this, do you think?
Well, that is a great question, to which I don't know the answer. Because, no. Okay, so these are the main, should we say the main claims? The main claims are severe racism at the root of some decisions that have been made about them as a couple, and especially poor Meghan. As you can see, I've said poor Meghan, so that shows I'm kind of leaning that way personally, but that doesn't mean I'm right. Then the mental wellness.
Yes.
Again, the reason we believe she didn't get help from how the interview was painted was because of racism. But those two were the main ones. It was racism and the mental health, that they were struggling with their mental health, and they asked for help, to which they didn't get any.
But the whole thing of that was because they were getting no support. Well, that's what they said. They were getting no support from the royal family.
Which was different to everybody else.
Basically.
And you can make of that what you will.
I would urge you, Grimwade gang, go and watch the interview.
Yeah, please.
I'm sure it's on catch up all over the place.
Yeah. Whatever you do, don't just see this and say, oh, you know, Tim and Ali. Yeah.
Precisely.
Do you know what I mean? I would never advise anyone to do that. Although I do feel I look at things and we look at things from a holistic point of view. I still wouldn't, I'm not God. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course
we're
not
not God, so.
So, yeah, definitely go and watch the interview for yourself. And we'd obviously love to hear your comments and your thoughts as well. But, you know, there's so much in this. I mean, things that I heard that I found really hurtful were, you know, Prince Charles stopped taking Harry's calls at a point because it got to the point where, I guess, he was just done with hearing what Prince Harry had to say. And I'm like, for any father to cut their son off like that, apparently they're talking again now, but Prince Harry said with a very heavy heart that, you know, there's
some
a
stuff
lot
to sort
of
out.
building
He
to
said
be done.
hurts and stuff
precisely.
like that.
And the fact that, you know, for him to be able to be in a relationship again with his brother, there needs to be space.
Yeah.
Okay, space and time is a healer sometimes. You have to give even the royals, even, you know, famous people their time to heal and whatnot.
Yeah.
But at the same time...
Can we say that we don't actually believe in time is a healer? We believe time with some kind of action is a healer. What time allows to happen,
and we do
believe,
practice this in our own lives.
What time helps is the edge, the sting of the annoyance, of the rage, of the, you know, any of that, those first go-to emotions. It takes the edge off it just because it's not as apparent, it's not right there. However...
sometimes. Because also sometimes in time, it gives you just time to fester on those feelings.
This is true
even
too.
more without having any input or conversations with the people that you need to have those conversations with. And then it just makes things worse.
Yeah. So again, us humbly, we would take a few minutes to digest and think about. Ella likes to probably do that more than I do. I kind of like to attack everything right there and then.
That's why we need balance, you see.
There you go. So, excuse me. But, yeah, I think time, just sitting in time, I think your point is very valid, darling, is that it can allow you to just fester on the negative. You know, you've heard the kind of sayings around the idea of, when you win, you win and it's cool. But when you lose, you remember that loss, and you always remember negative over positive. It's the way we're wired, unfortunately. So you have to make a real conscious effort to pull towards you the positive rather than sitting on the negative, you know?
Precisely. I mean, there were some things that were said in the interview that I literally on the sofa when I was watching the interview, I was like, Lord, watch over their lives, because they let out some, what sounded to me as like family truths, secrets, what have you, that, you know,
that I'm pretty sure for generations haven't been spoken about.
Yeah, and they wouldn't want to be spoken about, you know?
Okay, here we go. My very good friend, he knows who he is, asked me the question of, why did Harry air that about his family? Like, is that okay, kind of thing? Okay, let's look at it. Two sides, right? One side is there's bad stuff going on. You've got to, like, for the good of others, you've got that responsibility, right? And then on the other side, you've got family comes first before everything else. And if you, obviously, you know we're about that here on the Grimwade family channel, Grimwade gang. And if you start tearing at your family fibers, before you know it, you're going to be in a very lonely place, because the friends, they come and go, and the people, even social media, the people that watch your stuff, they come and they go. The family don't. And, you know, it's...
Yeah, no, I hear you, but... So, let me put it like this. Obviously, we are a family who put a lot of our lives on social media. Not all of it, but a lot of it. There are things that happen in our lives in the background that Grimwade Gang will not know about. And there's reasons as to why Grimwade Gang will not know about these things, because it is private to ourselves. But I would say it's more so private to ourselves because we like to protect the other people that it might involve.
100%. We're generally not bothered about ourselves.
Yeah, personally, of my own heart, I don't mind if I share something with you and you want to come and listen to my story and then somehow turn it back on me. Okay, cool, fine. If you think that I dropped off here and therefore that's why I'm in this situation and whatnot.
Sometimes some good can come from that. Because you can hear from outside and you're like, oh, okay, you're right. Like, maybe I was a waste man there, or maybe I did carry on nuts there. Do you know what I mean? Or...
Precisely. But at the same time, I think when you are honest about things that you've gone through, even like in your marriage, for example, I've gained so much help and encouragement from couples that have sat and spoken openly with us, you know, in the past about things they've gone through in their relationship. And it's just helped you feel like, do you know what, we're not by ourselves. Like, this happens. And it's not that it's okay, but it's happened to somebody else and they've gotten through it, kind of thing. So, but, you know, sometimes if there's situations that take place and, you know, someone else, obviously you're trying to protect someone else's thoughts or feelings or whatnot, then, you know, obviously you have to keep certain things private. But I think we have to weigh it up as, okay, are we saying that it's my weighing hands. Are we saying that because they're the royal family and they have such a responsibility over our country, over England as a whole?
Do they not have human rights?
Yeah, do they not have the right to have some privacy? Or is it our right to know the real character of the people that are in high positions leading our country?
Which I can understand too.
Do you know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, somebody who is in power should have, obviously for myself, I think godly character and wisdom and whatnot, but they should have a character that is for the people. Do you know what I mean? And if within your country, your people are completely different across the board, then there's going to have to be some just blanket love for people. Like that's 100%. What it's got to come down to. You can't be harbouring hatred towards different types of people because, do you know what I mean? That's not okay. That really isn't okay.
The other thing to point out is the royals are born into this. They don't choose it.
Yeah.
That is one thing, because it would be the same for someone who's black or, something is...
That they can't change.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you're born into something, you're born into something. And I'm not comparing being royal to being black or, being Chinese or whatever. But it's just that whole thing of being born into something is very different from, like, for instance, for us, we picked up the camera, we started filming our stuff, we put it on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, we chose to
do that.
That's not the case with someone like Harry or all the rest of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And, okay, so, very shocking comment. I'm just moving it on.
Yeah.
Very shocking comment. The people then were worried about how brown his skin was going to be.
The baby skin. So when
dark his skin was going to be.
When Prince Harry and Meghan got married, obviously they got pregnant eventually, expecting their first child. Conversations apparently happened that were...
there's something that bugged me about that, and I'll tell you what it is. It's that they went to Harry and they didn't do it to Meghan. I can't stand that.
Right, yeah.
If that is true, I cannot stand that.
As in, they just went to him and they was having a little one-to-one
because it's happened in my life very many times. They don't talk to me; they talk around me. So I'm here, like,
Yeah,
and Meghan was there. And if you're gonna be big and brazen and say big things. Look, it's not a road thing, like, but if you're gonna be big and brazen, at least come and say, like,
you could look at it though as maybe Harry decided to have those conversations because he wanted to protect Meghan from hearing it, like, to her face. Maybe he knows that really and truly, if people said it to her face to face, she might just while out. No, I don't know, but
I don't get that.
You don't get that impression, but we're not in the relationship. We don't know. Do you know what I mean? Because there can be reasons for why these things happen, but at the same time, I totally understand what you're saying because, like you say, we've seen it happen.
Yeah.
So that comment.
Like, obviously, with a mixed family, personally, the darker the better for me. But that's me personally. You get me? So. I don't know. You can't say that
stuff.
You cannot. That is
unacceptable.
That is unacceptable. If that's been said, that is unacceptable. And in today's society,
but this is what I was just going to say. I mean, with things that I've taken part in recently behind the scenes, maybe in our lives, and things to do with race and stuff that is going on in today's day and age. That you're like, seriously, that can't be right. But then you look at the statistics and you're like. No, I can see it on paper. Like, this is literally what is happening. Yeah. And you're like, come on. Yeah. What is it going to take
time to wake up,
for things to change? And, of course, we went through everything that we went through last year with, obviously, George Floyd and whatnot. And that was obviously a massive world event. But yet still, is there no change? Yeah. How many people need to die or be killed? Do you know what I mean?
Some outrageous stuff you shouldn't it shouldn't be okay. That's it. It shouldn't be okay. Because that's what everyone's saying. It's not that big of a deal, is it? Not everyone, you know what I mean? But yeah, and the other thing, just scooting on, because guys, we're going to need to know your comments in the comment section below. Flood it as much as you want, and we will try and read as much as we can, because we do read, even if we can't get back all the time, because we've got a lot going on. We do read, and we thank you for all your comments. Precisely. But the other thing was the mental health. Now, mental health has become a big thing in the media. I've seen a lot of it, a lot more recently, especially with COVID and stuff like that. people really struggling, losing jobs, losing family, losing all kinds of things. And that's another thing on a side note. It's a bit sad that this has kind of come at the end of COVID, where we seem to be coming out of another kind of, big
thing.
You know, it's like, can we just have, I don't know, a couple of months of, everyone's rosy? Yeah, you can't. I know how it goes.
Can't life just be happy?
Yeah. But yeah, the mental health and Meghan going and asking for help. And
she said something that...
Go on.
Well, she said two things. One of them was just a quote that I loved, but she said something there that was so important, like for someone who's struggling to admit, because anytime you're struggling mentally and you're saying, I need help, for you to get to that point, to say that you need help, you're putting yourself out there to say, I'm struggling. Yeah. I can't deal with whatever's going on in my life at the minute. You have to totally drop your pride.
Yeah, because it can make you feel less of a human, or, you know what I mean?
Please, somebody
and it's not the case. You need help. Sometimes we need help.
For you to get to that point where you ask for help and then someone turn around and say, no, I know what I'm like. It's hard enough for me if I'm coming out of the car with loads of shopping bags and
this is just shopping.
And this is shopping, just taking it from the car to the house.
And this is real Grimwade.
If someone doesn't just come and help because they want to, I'm not the sort of person who's particularly going to go,
basically, if people
come
offer,
and help me.
Yeah, if you never, and if even people offer, it should be like, no, it's fine. Like, you have to wrestle the things from Ella, and whether that's right or wrong. What Ella's trying to describe is how hard it can be for someone to admit
that they need help.
Weakness or what is perceived as maybe weakness. So, and then to be told no on top of that, the embarrassment, I just praise God she is still here.
Yeah, precisely.
I don't know how long we've got on the tape, because I know the battery wasn't all the way up. So I know there is so much more, but let us know. I think I'm going to have to bring it to an end here. Let us know if you would like us to chat with the children about it, because they will watch it. And
if you want to hear their thoughts, but
I hope you've enjoyed sitting with us, and I hope we've given some food for thought. I don't know if you heard our hearts as much. We've said which kind of side we feel if on the face of what's happened so far.
I'll just say it again clearly.
Go on, darling.
I feel like they've been wronged, and I feel like there needs to be some justice for them. But then at the same time, I'm not God. I've not seen both sides. I'm interested in seeing what the royal family come back with, because surely they've got to make some sort of statement, you would think. But we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, God is the ultimate judge. And I just hope and pray that all parties within this whole kerfuffle, managed to be able to come to a united agreement, basically.
For sure. And I love you.
I love you too.
See you later, Grimwade gang. You made it. 27 minutes, right?